All right, guys, how we doing? I'm Foxy with Rob as usual. We're outside the Riverside. This is a preview review show. Quite apt really that it's pouring down because it hasn't really been the best of transfer windows, as you guys know already, so there's kind of a cloud hanging over us. Really poor metaphor, but it kind of works. So we're going to have a little brief chat about Sheffield United, but I guess we all know the score and we all know what happened in that during that game now, so I'm not going to stand here and tell you all how to suck eggs, but we'll have a little chat about Birmingham and what to expect from Gary Monk's team, although we all kind of know what we expect from the Gary Monk team, but we'll still have a little chat about it anyway. So let's just quickly talk about Boro Sheffield United then. So it was a game that we were expecting to be a little bit tighter than it was. When me and the guys were talking about this before we sort of did the show, we expected Sheffield United to be a really hard team to break down, a little bit like they were last season, especially at the Riverside. Compact and difficult, but it didn't turn out that way. Funnily enough, we actually started the game the way we finished the game at Millwall, which is a positive. They've obviously been told and expected to go out and give it 135%, or whatever you want to name as a percentage. It's always a little bit more than 100, isn't it? But they had to give everything, so we had a blinding 30 minutes of the game, and then I think we kind of rested on our laurels for the rest of that game. Could have ended up 5-4, that 5-3, but so performance-wise, Wing looked good, 2 assists obviously, Flint getting on the score sheet, which is good. We know he's a goal-scoring centre-back. Maybe when Ayala comes back as well, we'll score a lot more goals with these two. Set pieces are really important in the game, especially this season, and as we keep talking, it's a purely special. So we capitalised on 2 set pieces straight away, and I think we rocked Sheffield United. They weren't expecting that. And really, in any game, when you go 3-0 up at half-time, it is just damage limitation. I guess if we had Traore in that team, we would have picked them off a little bit more. And you never know, we might have really turned that into a bit of a cricket score. But 3-0's 3-0. Second half, they had a lot of chances. They bombarded us a lot. Leon Clark missed a couple of sitters, a header at the back post, through on goal, one-on-one. And Randolph did well. I know Randolph gets a lot of criticism, but as a shot stopper, the guys, he doesn't stop performing for me. Maybe commanding in his area and aerial abilities maybe a little bit suspect, but I think that's a problem with most keepers. But as a shot stopper, I haven't got a problem with this guy. So, second half, we'd done what we needed to do. We had Lewis Wing, got a standing ovation and came off, which is nice to see, a local guy, we want that. Downing got on the score sheet, and I knew once Downing had scored we would win in this game because that doesn't happen very often. Yes, it came off his standing foot, but he was still in the right position. I've been a critic of Stuart Downing, I know a lot of people have, but you know, he was there on Tuesday and he had a half-decent display like the rest of the guys did. We're not here to be negative and be unrealistic. We know what this team's about. We're not unrealistic fans. We don't expect us to win 4-0. We're not Barcelona, but we expect a certain level of football and a certain level of play, because that's what we're used to at this football club. We're a small club with massive ambition and massive fans. So this goes out mainly to the Boro guys and Tony Pulis, if you watch this. We ain't trying to be critical of you guys, we're just the fans, and we want to get behind the team, we want to be positive all the time, but we also want to know why things aren't happening the way they should be. Which kind of brings me around to the transfer sort of scenario that we're at. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we're under a cloud. Tony Pulis looks like he's worked night and day to try and get the players in that he wants, and that obviously hasn't come off. Now, whether that comes from the top, we don't know. I'm not here to get into that discussion because I don't know enough about that, about what's actually going on, not yet, and I don't want to start making assumptions, but as a logical chain of progression, someone in the club isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing because players just aren't signing. So we've been left with one player in Jordan Hugill, who we all know about, local lad, but he's injured. We've released a lot of players, sold a lot of players that we maybe shouldn't have done because we kind of find ourselves with a threadbare squad again. Now that's fine if we don't get injured. So Tuesday's game, we pull out a great result. It could have been slightly different, but that ain't going to happen every week with the squad that we've got. Birmingham, as we all know, Gary Monk. Now, a lot of fans will say he did nothing at the club last year. I would agree with that 85, 90%. I do think we weren't in turmoil when he left. A lot of people like to remember that as when he left last year, we were in absolute dire straits, but we weren't. We were 3 points off the playoffs. We were only 12 points off Cardiff in second with 6 months of the season to go. Yes, we can question his transfers, and it has been quite a wide sort of topic. People have done that quite a lot, but he did bring a couple of decent players in. Ashley Fletcher is one for me. We haven't seen the best of this kid yet. But he couldn't settle on an 11, and I think that was Monk's real big problem. He went to Birmingham and kept Birmingham up, and that wasn't something that wasn't fluked. They were dead and buried when he went there. What I've realised with Gary Monk is that giving him money to spend is a mistake. If he's got a squad to work with and he can't do anything, he improved it, and he really, we can't argue with that. I mean, tomorrow's going to be one of them games where he isn't going to get beat, and we ain't certainly going to want to get beat off him. Gary Monk's got to pull a record against all the other teams he's managed. When he managed for Boro, the other clubs that he went back to, we didn't get results there. Leeds United, for example. Birmingham as a whole, just to give you a few daft stats, although this isn't what this show's about. Birmingham have won once in 18 visits to the Riverside. I think it was back in 2013 they beat us 1-0. We've won 8 of our last championship games at home on a little sort of run. So, and like I say, Gary Monk hasn't got the best record against his former clubs, but they'll play 4-4-2. Their real threats for me is Jax Magoma, I think it is, on one side, on the right-hand side, and they'll have Jota on the other. They haven't really been able to sign many players. They've just brought in Gary Gardner, Craig Gardner's brother from Aston Villa. Lee Camp, keeper, Ogle, and a guy called Mahoney. Nothing flash, but I don't think these players can play anywhere. Craig Gardner's one to watch in the middle of the park just because of his set pieces, but again, it's nothing to really worry us. As I mentioned, Jota on the other side. The other sort of battle for me would be Djukovic, that we know a little bit about, against Flint, probably. Djukovic is really strong in the air, he wins a lot of aerial challenges, and they like to play up to him. Monk, as he's gone there, they've tried to play a bit more football, but they haven't exactly got the most talented team. No offence, Birmingham fans, I'm just being real, I think you'd agree with me too. So they play with a lot of kind of quick turnover, a little bit like us. They like to get it out wide. They like to take shots. They like lots of shots. Against Norwich in the last game, they were shooting from all over. Plenty of shots on goal, plenty of shots on target. Magoma, as I mentioned, looked really good. I think he scored and there was an assist. But as I said, Djukovic is a man that's going to be the guy that will sort of, everything will play off. Also with that, they're going to have Shadams up front as well. Shadams, sorry if I've got that wrong. American, decent player, not bad at all. On his day he'll score goals, but he doesn't have many of those days. Again, Birmingham fans, I'm not trying to be derogatory, I'm just pointing out the facts, as we see it. But they're nothing to worry about. But then are they? Because we kind of seem as if we're in a little bit of a cloud, as I mentioned at the top of the show. I don't know how that might affect confidence tomorrow. I'd like to think it doesn't and the momentum carries on. I'd like to think that if we can keep a clean sheet, then we can certainly score goals. We've seen that the other night. But it's a championship, and we all know what can happen in this league, and we all know how temperamental Boro can be. Albeit, they haven't been that temperamental since Tony Pulis took over. We've been a bit more steady. So I think this is a well-winnable game. I think we all do. I don't think there's any reason at all why we can't score 2 or 3. But then my heart's telling me, my heart's saying 2 or 3, but then my head's telling me it's going to be a real tight game. I think it'll be 2-1 maybe, Boro. But again, I'll take anything at this point, 1-0. I'd like a clean sheet, that would be brilliant, just for the back four themselves. Even though, personally, I don't want to see 2 centre-backs playing full-backs. If we can keep clean sheets, then that's only going to give the guys more confidence, which is what we want. We always want to be positive, no matter what we say after the game. We're not trying to be unrealistic, as I've said, and we're not trying to be super critical. We're just trying to be realists. So what else is there to worry about with Birmingham? Well, they are quite good off set pieces, as I've said, which is something that we are good off too. Give away free kicks around the area. Gardner's good enough to finish them. So I'm just hoping that we are fresh, we're fit and we're positive. There's no reason why we can't start the game like we did against Sheffield United. And I think if we do, we'll blitz them. I think the game could be, we could be a couple of goals up straight away. So we play at our strengths, which is set pieces. As we mentioned against Sheffield United, if we can get the ball out wide and get in behind the team that plays 3-5-2, we are going to be dangerous. Wing did a bit of that the other night, as I said. Got a standing ovation when he came up, which is nice to see. So I think it's a pretty much same thing with the Gary Monk team. There will be space. They have got a slow midfield, and they do like to play out wide. So there's no reason why we can't. If we're going to play counter-attack football, there's no reason why we can't use Braithwaite, can't use Wing to the 2-hour advantage that we did the other night. So like I say, I'm going to go with my head and say 2-1 Boro. Rob, any thoughts?
2-0 Boro.
2-0 Boro, but he's rolling his eyes, sports fans, when he says that. So I think deep down inside he thinks it'll be a tight game. I do too, just because this league is so mental. But anyway, look, it's all about you guys. Please get in touch, please get involved. We're going to be doing a lot more shows. Obviously the Monday night shows, you know, these preview reviews are ticking along. We've got a lot of things coming up this season, new shows as well. So get in touch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, if you have to use that medium. You know, it's all about you guys. So listen, get behind the team as always positive during the game, before the game. If you want to be critical, then you know where the guys are going to be. There's going to be interviews. Are you going to be at Doc Brown's beforehand?
Yeah, going to be at Doc Brown's tomorrow before the match.
Doc Brown's about 12:30, I reckon. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock?
About 1 o'clock.
About 12:30, 1 o'clock, guys. So get yourselves there and have a pre-match interview. Also, you know where we are, Dockside Road, to get a few interviews after the game. And tell us what you want. Give us your feelings, no matter how mental they may seem. So, thank you for tuning in as ever. I've been Fox as usual. That's been Robert. Peace out, whoever you are, wherever you are. It's in the blood, people.